Yeah. I always called her Miss Daisy. I guess it had something to do with Lil Abner. You know, he kind of had that stick, you know, that Lil Abner thing, like, you know, glammed out, you know.
One of the cool things, he's like a superhero. You know, Jim Dandy's washboard is like Thor's hammer.
Hitler was the Fuhrer, Mussolini the El Duce, Peter was the pen, and I'm the dandy. Well, be a Jim Dandy, genuine article, absolute truth, the real deal. Comic book character, all his children are so animated, I wonder why. Because he's like Dudley Do-Right. Well, actually, I had a comic book, Ricky said. It was called The Great Jim Dandy. Same people that did Casper the Ghost and, what was it? Archie? No, not Archie. Oh, I hated Archie.
Around 74, Dandy got hooked up with this project that was really not very well known even to die-hard Black Oak fans. It was a concept record, Flash Fearless, put together by John Entwistle from The Who. And it was a science fiction deal. And, well, actually the full title, Flash Fearless versus the Zorg Women, parts 5 and 6. Don't know what happened to parts 1 through 4. But Dandy's on here, he sings a song called Country Cookin'. And it's a crazy mix of people. Alice Cooper, on Dandy's track, Justin Hayward from the Moody Blues, of all people, plays guitar. It's just a nice little nugget.
There could have been, what could have been the Fantastic Four or the Mutants. I had this guy called Black Bolt. He had more power than any of them. What was his power? When he opened his mouth and they heard his voice, it would make mountains fall. And they were scareder of that son of a bitch than any of them. And there were some big motherfuckers. But I'm telling you, they had his mouth covered. And that's what they're going to do to mine one day.
If it wasn't the broken blood pack, then disco was probably the kryptonite that killed the band's career. Plus, Dandy ended up breaking his back in a nearly fatal car accident in the early 1980s.
But if it hadn't been for breaking my back, they would have found out I had curvature of the spine and scoliosis. They put a piece of titanium 8 inches long in there because of that. I would have had a humpback. And if they hadn't put this piece of bone in here, and when I was young, I broke my arm 4 times in the same place because that bad piece of bone wouldn't solidify. But I tell you this, I'd have had a short arm, and oh, by the way, my teeth was knocked out too when I was in baseball because the Lord said, if you want to be like Elvis, you got to get rid of them teeth first thing. Because they were buck tooth and they had a gap in them. It's like this, I had a short arm, hump on my back, and buck teeth. Jim Dandy to the rescue, Jim Dandy to the rescue. Go Jim Dandy, go Jim Dandy, I'm gone.
But they beat the Reaper after all because Black Oak, Arkansas is back. They've been rediscovered by a new generation of fans. They still have a loyal biker audience. They play Sturgis every year.
You know, Jim Dandy, one more time, is gonna come to your motherfucking rescue!
The new album, The Wild Bunch, features Jim, Ricky, and Pat. And the rock and roll tradition is carried on because they have this new kid.
The guitarist is this hot blues picker named Rocky Athis.
He's a Texas guitarist in the Stevie Ray Vaughan tradition.
And the drummer is Johnny Bolin, the little brother of fallen shooting star, singer-songwriter, rock legend Tommy Bolin.
If you just look at what they brought to the table, you know, at their peak, they had this glam rock thing going. Add to that, they had this real nice, heavy Southern boogie vibe. And then underneath all that, there was this funky rhythm and blues, you know, a real black sound to it. And then you throw into the mix the preaching of the Right Reverend Jim Dandy. You know, you got a rock and roll church meeting going on. It was good stuff.
I'm a dandy. I don't but anybody wants to be in the Wild Bunch, I want to tell you, you don't have to probate to be in the Wild Bunch. She's got to afford to get your patch, you know. All you do is go buy your patch. You get it on our website. Yes, I'm going to mention our website, www.blackoakarkansas, no spaces, no capital letters.com, and you will find it's living in your own backyard. It's just as close as that, and we're very personable, but we're also very deliberate. And we're trying to unite and let the young ones know and the old ones know about each other. And at the same time, we can't help but let know powers that be. And we're still coming, we're still here.
That's my Jim Dandy.
He arrived from the wings of his Learjet plane and parachuted down to that Silver Streak train. On a mission, he was fishing from a submarine to rescue the call from a sweet mermaid queen. She said she was 21 but barely 18. He's a real Jim Dandy, if you know what I mean.
He's
the real Jim Dandy.
Yeah, he's my man.
Yeah, he's the real Jim Dandy. Well, he's the real Jim Dandy, and he's tried and true. I said, Jim Dandy, to your rescue. If an angel came to see you, would you make her feel at home? He did, and he does, and he ain't never alone. While Uncle Elijah's playing the fiddles, the boys are picking clean.